Hi, I'm Michael Welch, President and Chief Executive Officer of Rocky Mountain High Brands. Welcome to this week's podcast. We have quite a crew with us today. We have Team Mexico and part of our Team HEMPd. So I'm going to start with Oscar Herrera to give us an update on our HEMPd flavored water production. So, Oscar, talk to us.
Well, let me tell you, it's been an ordeal, but everything on the hemp waters is moving forward as planned. We just ran into a few little things with the cans. It's been like an act of Congress to get everything in, but we are moving forward with it. We also have lined up a couple of distributors. We have several people from New York that were interested in being a distributor, and the company finally decided on one, and we did sign a contract with them, which we're very excited about. And there also are contracts that were being negotiated with Southern California. So we have several distributors that are very interested in that. So those are still in negotiation, but we hope to have something signed here pretty soon with that. Our DMI, who handles all the Amazon and all our hemp website sales, they've expanded. So they're also looking at another location that has a little more square footage for them so they can handle all our products. So right now we're in the process of basically looking at all the logistics to get product to all these people. Now, one of the questions that some of the people have been asking or commenting about, are we going to have the flavored waters in a variety pack? And the answer is yes. We will have the variety pack, but you can only get them through Amazon or through the HEMPd.com website. Yes, absolutely. So until we figure out, because there's so many moving parts right now logistically with these new distributors, we're going to try them out, sending them several pallets of individual flavors. Once we start seeing what the movement in and what their requests are, then we'll make the proper adjustments.
We're also pursuing distribution here in the DFW area as well.
That's correct.
That doesn't really show up on this graphic, but that's it shows that we're putting them in our office and putting them in a warehouse.
Yeah, no, we can't fit too many in the warehouse.
Missing bubble on here.
That's right. No, we are. We had quite a few made, so we're having to have our all our DFW products set aside for us, and depending on what the movement in is, just due to the fact that we have so many people requesting to be a distributor. So there's a lot of excitement going on, but at the same time, we have to be very careful who we select,
right?
And make sure they're a proper fit for our product.
I get emails every day from somebody that's interested.
Oh yeah, so. I mean myself and Christian constantly, which is great. But sometimes you got to say, hey, well, we have to let's sit down and talk about this and figure out the movement. A lot of people that aren't in manufacturing have no idea. If you are in manufacturing, then you know what we're talking about.
Right.
There's a lot of moving parts. And then again, logistics. It's not as easy as one would think, hey, just get me a product and we're good to go. There's a lot of things that have to be planned out.
Right.
So.
Okay. Well, good. Well, I know we're excited to get the drinks in the market. Our consumers are excited to try the drinks, and our investors are very excited.
Oh yeah, I mean
about the drinks going in there.
We can't get them out fast enough.
No, I agree.
And so we're very excited. I mean, we're already starting to plan our next run, just because of some of the things that we went through and getting ingredients. Anytime you come up with a new product, there are new challenges.
Right.
Everybody promises you the world. Yeah, we'll get them on time. We'll get it on time. And next thing you know, all it takes is one little ingredient that got delayed from China because of whoever.
Right.
And then sanctions come in, everybody panics, and everybody wants to hold on to their product. So those kind of little things that pop up.
Right.
So again, to minimize those type of situations, we're basically planning our next run and so forth and so on.
Okay.
So we're good.
Good. Well, thank you for the update.
You're welcome.
We're very excited. So hopefully in a week or so, we'll have actual cans here on the podcast.
Absolutely. And I know the marketing team is working on a very nice little video that I saw on those drinks. So hopefully they'll be able to put all that together for us. I know Michelle's working really hard on that. But from what I saw, I haven't seen, she wouldn't let me see the finished product. But all the pieces that I saw were really nice. So look forward to that.
Yeah. We're excited to release that. So
good.
Okay. Well, thank you, Oscar. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So, Christian.
Hello, how you guys doing today?
Good, good. So we also have Christian Vega and Kathy Fernandez.
Hi, Michael.
How are you?
Hi, everyone.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank
This is your
you.
first time on.
Yes, it is.
How exciting.
Very,
And you,
very exciting.
You wore the right color today.
I
So
did.
you got the memo.
I did.
So-
Well, kind of late, but yes, I got it. And I'm here, and thank you for having me.
We're glad to
I
have you
appreciate it.
here. So Christian, back to you. You're always in the hot seat, so let's
Yeah.
keep the temperature up.
Yeah, right. We can't bring it down. It just wouldn't be no more fun, right?
That's right.
Got to keep it up and running. So last week we were, I wasn't on the podcast, nor Oscar, Kathy. We were dealing with some restatement of letters and redemption letters is what's called. That Coffee Priest wanted us to adjust and to add to. This is last week. That's why
Right.
nobody was here last week. But we're glad to have Jackson. Jackson, it was amazing to hear all about CBD and how that works. But unfortunately, we had to take care of that, and that's why we were not available. So as of yesterday, Wednesday, the Coffee Priest has received the final letters, the attorney letter, redemption letter, as well as the Coffee Priest package. Everything all together as of yesterday. So
So we're in the
on Wednesday. I'm sorry.
Kofa Priest box down here.
Right.
I'm a little colorblind. I think that's
see that.
turquoise,
Yeah.
but I'm not quite sure.
Yeah. And so just for people who are going to question and say, well, you said last 2 weeks and whatnot, we are not lying. I mean, we're telling you, it's been going back and forth process.
You've actually been on conference calls with Kofa Priest representatives, correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it's not that we're doing things wrong. It's just that they want more little stuff added to it.
Right.
And so when I say that we're going to have this to the perfect, to the T, we will. And we will be, like I said last time I was here, we are making history. This is based on our drinks. So the permit, the law, everything has been designed around our drink.
Right.
And so it's not based on another brand or Coca-Cola or anything like. It's based on Rocky Mountain High, and then Coca-Cola will be right after us, right? So Coca-Cola is going to follow our steps, what we did, how we did it, to file permits. Anyone else who's going to do the same thing as us trying to go into Mexico are going to have to follow our steps. So it's been back and forth. It's been playing tennis with these folks. Ball goes over there. Send it right back, make some corrections or adjustments, send it back that way, goes back. And finally, as of Wednesday, we got everything that they asked the previous week when we weren't here. So even the process, let me put it this way. When we used to get an observation, that's what it's called, from Coffee Priest, here's an observation that we saw, we want you to adjust it, make it change, blah, blah, blah. Some of the stuff was taking us 2-3 weeks just to make those arrangements with our chemist, with our, and if we're making arrangements to the numbers, then the tasting was different now.
Right.
So we had to make those adjustments. So, and this is where Kathy came along, and she, she's part of Team Mexico and helped us to get that moving quicker for us. So we've been recruiting everybody in the company to say, okay, here's how we're going to delegate this, right? We're going to have Kathy help us with this. And sure enough, she's your assistant, right? But she's been on board and working extra hard just to get it going. So with that being said, this last observation just took us a week. I mean, it was probably 4 days to make arrangements, adjust it. So the process is continuing to get smoother, better funnel, and a lot, easier.
Right.
To be honest with you. So as far as Wednesday, they have it. It's going up for review. 2 weeks maybe, somewhere in there. I hate telling people dates again because we don't know.
We have no control over that. So now it's at a governmental agency in a foreign country.
Right.
So,
right. And we got influence down there, and
Right.
we have influence too. We've been knocking on doors since day one, and And then we started from the bottom, and I mean, there's a picture out there floating, so you'll understand how far we can get and how far Rocky Mountain High has been pushing to get this Mexico deal going. So, it's out of our hands right now. It's in good hands.
Right.
Our client in Mexico has a consultant that he hired directly to work with COFEPRIS, a COFEPRIS expert, and who used to work for the government at that time, before she came and joined the team with him. So she's very knowledgeable of what she's doing. And so sometimes when I talk to her name is Alicia, she'll tell me, "Ay, Christian, no. Let me tell you, this is how we're going to do it, And when you and I look at it, we're like, that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't matter. It makes sense to them. That's how we're going to do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's been an ongoing progress. So, but that's where we are right now. I know that some folks were asking, where were we last week?
Right.
Now you know.
Right.
I think that our company gives our shareholders, an exceptional part of information that no other company gets, right? We come here, Oscar comes here and gives you as detailed as possible what's going on, where other people don't do that. Other companies don't do that. We want to keep as transparent as possible so they know what's going on. Now, for the purpose of getting people to agree or disagree, upset or happy, it's just a transparency. That's all it is. You see what we're working with, what we're doing, right? And so same thing with Mexico right now, giving you down to the T of where we at and how we can do it. And so with that being said, we're booking our client from Mexico to be hopefully in the next available podcast. I know you got some other folks booked already, but we might make some changes,
right?
Because it's it's an important person to have. So we're gonna book him for the next available podcast that we may have,
right?
And so he comes up and I mean, I can tell you what he's gonna say. Same thing that it's off his hands right now. It's in official hands, but we would love to just get him on, people to see him. Maybe he's give us a little background of what he's been or how long he's been working on this, and hurdles that they've been going through down there as well. And so people get to see it. I mean, you can't get the best. I mean, it's the best you can get.
Right.
So, as far as not all of them, but most of the hurdles that we were running into was adjusting numbers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which meant adjusting tasting. That's where Kathy came along. We had Kathy run to Hillsboro to meet with one of our chemists, all the way to Carrollton, back to Hillsboro, back to Dallas,
long
back to
distance to California.
One was in California, so I mean, tell us how.
Gotta get it right.
You gotta get it right. How was that, Kathy?
Right.
I mean,
no, it's been a lot of fun for one thing. I mean, I really love working with everyone on Team Mexico, and I'm learning a lot as well as everyone else. But the goal is to get it right, and we had to get the taste right to make our customer happy.
Right.
So there were little tweaks here and there we had to do. Michael and I got together on several occasions and tasted, and he'd look at me and I'd look at him, and I'm like, we're so close, Michael.
Right.
And he like, yeah, let's go with this. I'm like, let's just try one more thing, let's just tweak it just a little bit more.
It ended up you were more critical than I was.
I'm a perfectionist when it comes to stuff like that.
Right. It paid off.
Yeah.
It definitely paid off in the end.
I think it did.
What we ended up with was identical, and we had a benchmark because they wanted their drinks to mimic the legacy Rocky Mountain High drinks.
That's exactly right.
The energy drink.
The energy drink. And so the Rocket High is supposed to mimic the Rocky Mountain High citrus energy drink.
Right.
And so it does.
It really does, even though we had to adjust some of the ingredients, delete ingredients that couldn't go into Mexico, add ingredients that they were wanting in there, like the CBD. And, there's a trick to getting CBD into liquid form in it tasting right and tasting good to the palate and making it taste just like our original drink. So it was tricky, but I think we did it.
I think we did too.
And I like to say, I mean, our client is very thankful of Kathy, right? Because they just can't taste it for us on the spot.
Right.
It's
a long way to Monterey.
Yeah. Well, it goes to Monterey and it goes from Monterey to Mexico City. But there was times where, I mean, Oscar and I would sit there, right? And Kathy's right just like this. And Oscar's like, what do you think? And I'm like, I think it's great. And you're like, I think it's great too. And we're like, we're crossing our fingers. And we're like, what do you think, Kathy? And
they
she's
look
like,
over at me.
Now, boys, I don't think this is going to go work. It's missing. And we're very grateful that she was there because the end product, it's literally, you tasted it now, right?
It tastes identical.
It tastes identical. And so I got to say thank you because, and our client in Mexico would also say thank you because they can't just come here, twice a day and just show up and taste it, right? So we depended a lot on you on that, and we appreciate that. So I know that the Mexico team in Mexico was like, we trust you, Christian, but it better taste the same.
Right.
Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
You remember that call? It's like, oh, okay. It's like, well, if you think it tastes the same, and I didn't trust myself. I don't trust my taste judgment at all. I'm not very critical in that aspect, so we're very glad and happy that Kathy helped us with that. Everybody's doing multiple things and whatnot. And this was very, very, very important. Someone to help us with that. So.
Right.
But yeah, sure enough, Oscar and I were.
Yeah, well, there's so much to it. Not just the taste. I mean, everybody goes, "Well, this could taste good." But then not only do you have the taste, whatever form you put in there has to match up, and they have to test it there. And whatever you sent them better come up. Otherwise, it's coming back.
Yeah.
Right.
So that it's just not as simple as one would think until you get right into it.
Right.
The good thing that I foresee is that Mexico has, since obviously we're trendsetters in this whole business with CBD and energy drinks, that they said, okay, based on this rocket high that we've done, let's go ahead and move forward with the other drinks. And get that out of the way so we're not constrained with this time anymore. And so that's what we've been working on as well. You guys have been really taking that on board. So that's great.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely, yeah. As far as California tea, black tea, as far as California lemonade are also part of that package. The Rocket High was a big part of the package that was holding us back and forth. That's literally what we worked on most of I would say 80% of the time. And then when it came to California tea, black tea, and California lemonade, it was like nothing because we already had a blueprint.
Right.
And so that for us was like, man, we're establishing a blueprint. So technically whatever our client wants to buy, if he likes the hemp waters,
there we go.
Kathy keeps up with all this stuff for us, all the documentation behind it, and so it's as easy as just sliding it over that way. And even if they don't necessarily like it, but we want them to help us out to put it in Mexico. I'll say it again: Rocky Mountain High brands have established a blueprint to go into Mexico with beverages with hemp infused. That simple.
It's very
That's
important.
Simple.
So
all those things, we focus sometimes on the purchase order, overlooking at how much more we actually accomplishing. How much more? We're not Coca-Cola, we're not Pepsi, and I know they're in Mexico, but we're a contender. We're a contender now that we have a bridge and a partnership with our client in Mexico that if tomorrow, we go, hey, excuse me, we want to get our hemp waters in Mexico. Can you guys help us out? And like, sure, see what you can do. Let's go. That you did the blueprint, so no one else knows it better than you guys do. So put it together, and then let me make some phone calls down here and see what we can do.
So is there anything that you can share with our audience on the mysterious distribution partner that?
I can tell you that we continue to work on the formulas that they send us. We are also being sent, as we speak, several other samples of liquids that are coming this way for us to work on. It's a specific liquid of them. They have given us access not only to their formulations, but also to their database of vendors and ingredient houses, because they actually have all of the ingredients that they use are, I guess, patent. Is that the word? Patent. And so they're copyrighted, or it's theirs.
They have the intellectual property.
They have intellectual property on those formulas. So we had to get that approved by the board members of that company for them to release to us that. And so I'm waiting on several, actually one more ingredient of their formulation that's coming in from Monterrey. Some are coming from Guadalajara, some are coming from Monterrey. One is actually from Germany, but it goes from Germany to Mexico City, and then from Mexico City comes back to us, to Dallas. And they're also sending me a syrup it's RTU, which is ready to use for us to play with our CBD. And then as soon as we get all this stuff done, which hopefully in a near few weeks, future, I don't say dates, we're working on it. But when we get it done, we'll be podcasting saying we're complete. You won't see the label on it, but you'll see the formulation, you'll taste it, and then we'll send it to Mexico. And I have a strong belief that they'll say, let them know who we are now.
Okay.
Because
That's great.
we accomplished. So, we're done all this stuff with Rocket High and CBD Alimentos. At the same time, we're working this other deal for them with this amazing client of them. I mean, amazing. I mean, when we try to get some of these ingredients ourselves, and they were automatically calling them down there and say, who's this guy? How does he get the number formulation of this ingredient, And then one guy said, I need to have them email me or call me directly that I'm even just allowed to talk to you. And so like, oh man. So everybody was shutting their doors. So we contact our client and say, hey, we're hitting doors. And he said, why? I said, well, because they don't know who we are. They know who you are, but they know who they are, but they don't know who we are. Not a problem. Give me just a minute. He sent emails, and the head of marketing of that company and the head of international commerce send emails out introducing us to them as partners with them. Excuse me. Then I got phone calls like, oh, we're so sorry, Mr. Vega. What can I do for you? How much do you need? And I'm like, oh, just a few grams. No, we'll send you kilos. How many kilos do you need? 10 kilos? We'll send you 10 kilos. I'm like, that's where we at with those guys. So let's just hope that in the next few weeks we can release their name.
Oh, okay. That would be quite an accomplishment for us.
We will have a great party. I'll bet you that. I'll promise you that.
I'm sure we will. That will be a celebration.
Absolutely.
Speaking of celebrations, I understand that you have a story from earlier in the week that you'd like to share with us.
I believe that there is a picture out there that somebody posted.
There we go.
There we go. I don't think I need to say any more, right?
Yeah.
That says a lot right there. Just that picture.
Mean, can I have a mic so I can just drop the mic? That would be great. So we are reaching and knocking on doors. And so, Michael, I sent this picture to you. It was a Monday. And
right.
I mean, you were, what? I don't think, I don't think there was doubts, but there was like, you and Vicente Fox? No. Sure.
Well, explain to people who Vicente Fox is for some
viewers. Let me explain it.
So don't know.
Right. So Vicente Fox is our ex-Mexico president, and he's doing a tour, a world tour with leaders who have received either the Nobel Prize and other such awards. But he's also the ambassador of cannabis products in the USA in Mexico. He was one of the first who introduced laws and legislations to switch from from having 28 grams of marijuana to become legal and for recreational purposes. He's also been helping the current government introducing laws for CBD for medical purposes. He's also in Colorado all the time doing presentations and talking about cannabis and how it changing the world and how it could be a medical solution for many different illnesses. And is a huge supporter of cannabis, a huge. I believe he's just got assigned as a board member to High Times magazine. High Times hire him to come in and join part of the board member. He's also a board member to a cannabis medical cannabis company in Canada. That's where he was heading out this week. So, yeah, I mean, being that we're doing the Mexican contract with cannabis. He's a supporter of Mexican in cannabis. I guess you guys can show him the rest of the pictures. There he is.
That's great.
There he is. So
nice shirt.
Yeah, you like that? Rocky Mountain High Brands, Team Mexico.
I like the watchful eye over your shoulder too. It's like somebody's keeping an eye on you.
It reminded me a little bit of you for a minute. That's my son. He was with me. He was really doped about it. He was very happy. He had one of our hats. So he's our brand ambassador, man, to the fullest.
He is.
You could not complain. Little stud, So security was a little tight, But the ex-president Vicente Fox is very, very has a soft heart for kids with CBD. My son is a CBD user for ADD. And so, other folks would try to approach him, and his team was like, no. As a matter of fact, when we're talking, I had the hat, and one of his team members like, you got to put that down. We don't do that. But my son really wanted that hat signed by him, so he asked, can I have my hat in our picture? And President Fox was like, yes, of course you can. Come on, And my son speaks Spanish, so they were talking Spanish. So. And so we walked away, and he's like, "That'd be really cool if I had to sign." I was like, "It would be really cool if you had to sign," So when we walked out, the team is trying to get him out of that place. He's walking out, as you can see in that picture, and he saw him, and he said, would you mind signing my hat in Spanish? And he's like, "Of course, come here." And so, I got to give him big props to that.
So you actually have the hat.
I actually have the hat. So just in case people were.
We're doubting you.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I'm sure it's gonna go up on Investors Hub. That was Photoshop. No, it was not. I have the proofs and the bruises from the security team that it was legit.
You might put that on eBay.
So,
yeah, right.
No,
it's going
way too valuable.
I think we're gonna do paper, rocks, and scissors. And which office does it go? Like Michael's or mine or yours?
No, I definitely needs to be in yours, Christian.
Oh, thanks.
So, what did President Fox think about Rocky Mountain High and what we're doing in Mexico?
He there was not a lot of time to talk, obviously, because they were trying to get him out of there. But when I mentioned that to him, he's like, "What? Great. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you and your team. I'm so glad and happy that things are floating down there with this. Keep up the good work. Again, he's a big supporter of the cannabis. So anything that has to do with cannabis or CBD oil, THC free, he's not a user. I mean, he's said many times in different videos, I'm not a user, but I support the reason why this needs to be on the market.
Right.
I respect the folks who are looking for an alternative option for their illnesses, whatever that may be, from ADD to, cancer, whatever they use it for. And it's helping them. He's like, and it's better than opium or other medication. He's a huge supporter. So the little bit of time that I had to be able to talk about this he was just very stoked about it and supportive. I did ask him, "Okay, we have a podcast tomorrow. You think you and I'm booked, son. I'm booked for the rest of the year." Sure you are. I'm just wondering, why not? But you know what? I say that as a joke and it's funny. But I think that we may have a shot down the road because we're going to be the first ones in Mexico. And he's going back and forth. And so he travels through Canada. He's a big supporter.
Didn't you say he has a home here in Dallas?
Yeah, Colorado, Dallas, Mexico City. He travels all over the place. So, our client knows of him. I sent him the picture. And he's like, way to go, bro, way to go. Say hi to my president. So, absolutely. And he says he's making a lot of movements in Mexico as far as cultivation. Mm-hmm. The raw material and whatnot. So they know what he's doing. They know of him. And, he travels back and forth. So there may be a shot there. Why not? Maybe you have him sitting next to you, next year. I don't know. So that would be great.
I'll let him, he can host.
I'm sure he, he gives an amazing speech. It's all about self-awareness, self-healing. It's all where we do, wellness for life. That's basically what he promotes.
That's
so
fantastic.
You may have to brush up on your Spanish. ¿Dónde está la biblioteca? May not work. We might need a little more than that.
Okay. I'll get you to give me lessons.
I got you.
Okay. Well, thank you for the update. This has been very informative today and great news. So we're getting closer and closer to the prize.
Right. You betcha. So hang in there because it's coming. And like Oscar said before, it's not a wave, it's not a hurricane, it's a tsunami. So be ready.
Well, we're ready. So, and thanks for joining us today, Kathy.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.
It's a good show. Thank you all.
Thanks for letting me out of the office.
We'll do that more often.
Yeah.